Good morning, everyone. It is another beautiful day. We're back at it, and wow, market serious barcode overnight. Yeah, let's map this out. Morning, Julian. Hey, Paul. Bill, Corey. The good thing is this is a very consistent range. Like that is a perfect looking range. So it's quite possible we could actually get some good range setups. Let's map out where the high and low from yesterday were too. Looks like basically the high is the low of today. So we won't even mark that. We're just basically looking at the overnight low and then the next level above us is that unbroken high from a few sessions ago. Hey, Ed, good morning. But we could have some really solid range setups if this continues. Just waiting for prices to get to the extremes, buying the lows, selling the highs. Morning, Martin. Hey, Tommy. Morning, Yamaha. Hey, Jonathan. There is the opening bell, and let's see if this range can hold. I really like it so far. NQ's locked in as well. So if we can get some action near the extremes of the range, we could have some great setups. Ranges are not a bad thing. You just have to know to trade them, and they have to be consistent. And this is a consistent range, meaning prices are turning at the same points. You'll see a lot of ranges that are, instead of turning at the same points, you get to move down here, and then you get something like this, and then it goes back there, and then it goes way up here. Like, that's when ranges suck. But If we could stay in here, this is perfect. So we'd be looking for a short around this level. If we can get up there and get a nice bearish bar, failed breakout. Nearing the top of that range. Interestingly enough, Nasdaq is not joining. Martin asking if I wait for a confirmation candle before shorting at the top. Depends on what you mean by confirmation candle. A failed breakout would just be a bar that tries to break out, maybe breaks this high right here, and then ends in a bearish hammer. So if that's what you mean, then yes. And of course, it did not quite make it to the top there, so nothing to take. Probably due to Nasdaq's weakness, as it hasn't even gone anywhere. So no matter, we'll have to just stay patient here. Yes, popping up again, while Nasdaq does as well. NQ still trying to break out of this little mini range here. If it does, the S&P should shoot up. Again, I'm going to be looking for a short opportunity at the top of this range. S&P now is at the top of the range. We did not get a bearish bar to take the short yet, though. Keep looking out for that, but I am monitoring NQ more so because it is still within the range. Just looking for a nice bearish bar here on NQ. ES starting to drop a little bit. Just need a bearish hammer, basically. It'd be nice if it actually broke this high, though. Like, see how this one broke the high and then turned into a bearish hammer? That's what I was hoping here. Didn't quite happen. Range appears to be holding on the ES, but if it continues to make new highs, we're going to have to consider this little uptrend forming, but we're not going to take a long until we're above this high, right, and holding above it. NQ gives a really solid lower high. I might consider it. And as far as economic releases and whatnot goes, we really don't have too much. There's nothing today. Unemployment claims tomorrow morning, which I don't think is going to do a whole lot. Revised Michigan numbers on Friday, I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. Currently, I believe a ceasefire in Iran. So the market is a bit in waiting mode. Probably more has a more chance for the upside. Because basically, if there's no bad news, the market is in a default upward drift. So keep that in mind. Not a lot to drive price right now. And also keep your eyes on any breaking headlines, because that could move the market. Shoot. As I was looking at those econ releases, NQ did put it in a nice little lower high. Bummer. That would have been a decent one to take a tiny scalp on. When getting back to the EMA is where I would be getting out of that. We're getting a little move down below the 21 at this point. S&P also moving down. So we'll see how far this bearish move goes, if it starts to develop into something or if we continue to stay in the range. Here's what it looks like on the S&P. I'm watching this little downtrend. If it pulls back and the 21 holds, I'm going to be looking for that short. Possible little break and new low on ES right there. We have not quite got all the way back to the 21 yesterday. This morning, right now, currently. I don't know where I am, folks. NQ looks like it is still in a downtrend. So I'm going to be watching a pullback to the 21. If it sets up, a short's looking good here. Looks better on NQ than it does on ES. Yes, continuing to leak lower, but again, it does look like a break outside of that channel and a new low. Would not be surprised if we get a bounce soon. And hopefully, for the purposes of this range, this thing can have a lot of chop. You know, maybe it comes back to the EMA, chops around, kind of drifts lower like this. Get a nice choppy move, and then down here is where we're going to be looking to go long. There was a great setup on NQ. If I was not checking the econ news, this lower high was what we were looking for. Turn down at the top of the range, lower high confirmation, take it to the EMA, start trailing your stop, and you could possibly even still be in this. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button as we continue this stream. Do believe we might have some good setups coming our way. And this is a healthy little drop here, guys. Look at this thing. I don't like taking a long. We're still in this trend. I need to see this play itself out with a break and a new low first. NQ currently looks like it's got a possible overshoot here. Maybe if we move this channel to right there. Maybe it's still active. And again, in order to take along, we need this little trend to work itself out with a close outside of the channel and a new low. Still not even able to get that pullback. ES as well. Had a little break. It's already headed for a new low. But that is what we want for playing the bottom of the range. We're going to watch and see what prices do down here. We want to see a nice failed breakout. So we want to see prices attempt to make a new low. Maybe do it by a tick or so. Reverse into a nice bullish bar. And that's what we'll be taking. On NQ, we still have not broken out of this channel, which is not good for our long. We need to see it pull back a little bit and then make that new low. We had a decent bar on the S&P. However, Nasdaq is not doing the same thing. So you could risk this if you want. It's also not quite at the bottom. You really want those range buys, those failed breakouts to happen when we're sweeping one of these lows. That's really what traps the opposite side in. So you could risk this and it might work, but I'd prefer to wait for one of those lows to be swept. NQ finally breaking out of that channel. If we get a new low at this point, we'll consider that played out and we can look for our long. How we doing out there, folks? Holding it together in this range. Who's got too much? Who's too trigger happy today? Who's been clicking buttons? Be honest. ES bouncing. Shoot, we might not get that failed breakout. right, here we go. There's the drop back down. And Nasdaq is doing the same thing. So this is where it starts to line up, right? Both markets doing the same thing. ES move down, close outside, new low. We're actually at the range bottom now. And any bull bar here, I'm ready to take. That ain't it. Let's keep waiting. I think Nasdaq has a little bit more room to move down too. So see here, move down, close outside. We're waiting for that new low. Hopefully it can get down to this area so we can take the long. We just have to be cautious. This might actually be a legit breakout to the downside, so that is why we're waiting for the right bar. That's pretty good on the S&P. See if this triggers. Doesn't look like it's going to trigger. Nope. Now the S&P is getting a little bit too low. This is probably the last bar I'd consider the setup on, and it's bearish. So Nasdaq at this point would be a better play if it sets up. We're looking for that bullish bar. NQ is bouncing here. I think I'm going to take this on context if we can. I don't want it to get up too far for me. See if we can get filled right there. Dang, it's already gone 20 points. Did not quite get the fill. That's unfortunate. So bars didn't set up really great. Yeah, basically a bearish bar here, and then this is an inside bar, but context wise this is exactly where you'd expect the bounce, so I was gonna give it a go. It just didn't quite get the fill. Meanwhile, S&P is working. It also didn't have a really solid bar to take. Just shot up off an inside bar, not what you want to see. Looking for a bullish hammer, but it's all good, all good. Now the question is going to be, are we going back into the range, or is this going to make another leg down? Kind of feel like range. We don't really have enough news, in my opinion, to propel us further down. We'd consider a double higher low if it appears here. I It's a pretty decent high or low. I might take a chance on this one. See if this closes well. There we go. Oop, hold on. My stop loss is going wild. Shoot. Got out for 4 or 5 ticks there. I had the wrong strategy going. If I was still in this is probably where I'm trailing my stop, so I'll probably end up getting more or less the same amount anyway. About six ticks or so. But that's a nice little high or low. There's our, we already had the failed breakout. It's already back up in the range. You get this high or low confirmation. You know it's at least going to pop up for a point or two. Get that right there. Get your scalp. Get on with life. And that's how you play the range. You could also consider getting that on NQ if it gives a higher low here. No higher low formed on NQ. ES is starting to look somewhat played out. We already had a little close outside of that channel and a new high. However, NQ still looks like it's in the middle of that trend. So we got to be patient here. Our opportunities to take a trade, as they always are in a range, are at the extremes. Had an opportunity to short here, opportunity to go long here. You don't want to do too much in the middle, unless something really compelling pops up. So best at this point to wait till either we work our way to the top and look for another short, or we get a legitimate breakout. Maybe the bottom falls out of this thing. Now we're in a wider downtrend. Now we can look for shorts down here somewhere. Decent higher low forming on Nasdaq, but I don't like where the S&P is at right now, dropping below the 21, threatening like it's going to have a move down. A little bit of no man's land here. We're in range, but we're not continuing the bounce from the bottom. Early suggestions that this might start to trickle down. Pop up and another bearish bar to meet it. NQ's little uptrend already had a close outside, not quite a new high, so it may pop up yet. Then we would expect it to drop. Yes, showing a little strength here, back above the 21. Maybe this range is going to hold after all. Still nothing to trade down here, though. We're just in a chop fest. Now for the last 30 minutes, we've just been going sideways in the bottom quadrant of this range. Our best opportunities are going to happen at the extremes. So I would love to see S&P trickle its way to the top yet again, or have a legitimate trend and actually have the bottom drop out of this thing. Maggie says, I'm very sure we'll have a big sell-off coming up soon. Wow. Quite confident there, Maggie. Hopefully you're right. Hopefully you're right. It's like this little congestion might be breaking here. We have a big red squeeze to fire to the downside. I'm not even sure what that means. Could possibly take this short here as this uptrend played itself out. See if I'm quick enough for this. Is it gonna fill me? Come on. Come on, baby. Get that fill. Basically, uptrend played itself out. We'd expect the bears at least to correct a little bit here. Not looking for a home run, but looking to come back at least to the top of that congestion. Tiny risk if it doesn't work out. No big deal. No, looks like we have some more upside. Yeah, I'm not going to try to chase that. Then it just becomes a guessing game. Ooh, but man, if this turns into a bearish bar, that's all right. I might try one more time. Nope, that didn't end up strong enough. Would have given it one more shot if there was a really strong bar there. This keeps making new highs. We may have ourselves a larger uptrend, which I would not particularly enjoy in a range. It's a little bit too wide for me. The wider the trend, the more sketch it is in a range. NQ continuing to make new highs here. Still good ranging action. One side or the other is not really taking off. We're just slowly drifting back and forth. Oh, good call, Archer. Yes, crude oil inventories at 10:30 usually does not really affect the market. It's not something that we have to pay attention to, but given the current situation in the world, I do think the market will be a little bit interested in what our inventories are right now. So good call. We'll be watching for that here in 10 minutes or so. And that could be an interesting one. Continuing to drift higher in this range. NQ as well, so I'm going to be widening this channel right here, responding to what the market is doing. And given that there is a little uptrend in play on NQ, if we get a nice pullback and the 21 holds, I will consider a long. And since the S&P, or sorry, since Nasdaq is in an uptrend, very likely that S&P is too. As I said before, don't really like those wide trends in a range, but we'll see if it's confirmed on this next pullback. If the EMA holds, I will also consider a long here. Hey, Octopus, what's going down? It's not a great looking pullback for our longs, but I would much prefer that because, again, I don't like those wide uptrends in a trading range. So That's cool with me. Let's break down below that thing. Watching NQ as well to see if that drops below the 21. Yeah, see, we're getting some volatility into this number. So watch out here. 5 minutes, guys. The market could go haywire. Immediate bounce on S&P after it broke the 21. Volatile, another breakdown below the 21 here. It's gonna get spicy, guys. It's gonna get spicy. You can see the building tension. Market is ready to make a move, man. It might not be consequential as in like sparking a legitimate trend or something. But we are definitely going to see some volatility. So watch for some big bars forming. Octopus, it looks like the current CL month is April. Lex says, do I trade exclusively the ES? No. You guys see me, hopefully you're paying attention. I go back and forth the entire day. Over the course of the stream, I've gone back and forth probably 10-15 times. This crude oil release might actually be a good eval passing event for if you're in a trade crude futures. Dr. Yamaha says need a watermark. Yeah, they're kind of watermarks are annoying though. It's right here, like it's right here at the top. You can see it. Plus, if you're trading the same tick chart, it's gonna match up if you just watch that. So I don't know. I don't like the watermarks. Lex, no, I don't usually trade crude or gold. I have in the past, but I find that the more symbols you add, the more likely it is you're going to miss a setup. So I like to stick to 2, and even then, like sometimes I'll miss a trade because I'm looking at one instead of the other. So I like to keep it simple. All right, 6 seconds until crude oil inventories. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. $6.9 million. So up from previous, quite a bit higher than what was forecasted. So it doesn't look like that triggered any anxiety in the market. Well above what was predicted. So I think we're back to par for the course, back to this range. And yeah, that's what we're going to be trading, guys. So make sure you're drawing your channels tight to begin with. Don't trust any wide trends. Look for reversals, and especially look for trades around the extremes, buying down here, selling up here until we have a legitimate breakout. That's when you can look more to favor the trends. So appreciate you hanging out with me as always. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Trade safe out there, and I'll see you soon.